In this session, we will talk about the patents that support the Yahoo Japan's shopping's ranking. And we will be talking about the 30 minutes. And let me first introduce ourselves. And two of us will be presenting. And first, my name is Inagaki. I work at the shopping division of the Yahoo Japan Shopping. And usually I'm a back-end engineer and as a data engineering. My hobbies are playing Mahjong and acquiring qualifications. I'm an amateur Mahjong player, but I have a second ranking of the Japan Professional Mahjong Federation. My other hobby is collecting certifications. I have about 100 certifications and licenses, a variety of fields, including cooking, radio, assistant, surveyor, and hazardous material handling, so on and so on. And thank you for your time. My name is Ayane Konno. Like Inagaki-san, I work in the shopping division at the Yahoo Japan Corporation. I usually design UI and UX as a designer, and I was in charge of designing a ranking page where patents I'm going to talk about. I used my hobbies watching F1. I always watch races, even in the middle of the night. The agenda is shown here. And first I will introduce our service, and then I will introduce the background of how the patents were created and the patents themselves and the effects they have brought about. The presentation will proceed in this order. The first, an introduction. Let me start with an introduction of Yahoo Japan Shopping as a service. As many of you may know, Yahoo Japan Shopping is a shopping mall where you can enjoy internet shopping. It features a wide selection of products and stores, and is also linked to PayPay, making it a very attractive service. Next, let me explain about rankings. Yahoo Japan Shopping has a variety of rankings, such as bestsellers and by brand ranking. These ranking products produced based on order information and reviews. Rankings are powerful assistants for users looking for what they want and help improve the user's buying experience as well. The Z Holdings Group, including Yahoo Japan, is making a group-wide effort to obtain patents. This chart shows the number of patent applications filed by the Z Holdings Group in the commerce area. As you can see, the number of patent applications is increasing every year. In this session, I will be presenting on the topics of ranking and patents. Next, I would like to explain the background of the patents introduced today. Yahoo Japan Shopping rankings have not always been smooth sailing. In the past, our rankings provided the lowest price items always at the top, or the same products always lined up in the same way. This was a problem while we had to create a ranking system that people want to come back over and over again. This was not a ranking that we wanted to come back to see. In fact, Yahoo Japan's ranking capabilities were relatively few compared to its competitors' rankings. In order to overcome this situation, we mainly used data and logic refinement as our approach to solve this problem. The strongest ranking is the one that everyone thinks it is great. In order to create the strongest ranking, we changed the attributes used to rank and the ratio of ranking. We created, tuned, and tested various logic to create the strongest ranking. What happened? The ranking logic we worked so hard to create did not produce any results at all. For example, why not? The reason being that, for example, users who like to create deals and want to follow trends, and the users who value quality over the price and put the trust long-selling products wanted different rankings. What is very meaningful to one group of users may not be beneficial to the other. Even after repeating this seesaw game, we could not reach the ideal ranking. It is almost impossible to create the strongest ranking that everyone can agree is great. Even if you can create a better one, you will never get to the best one. So we decided to make a drastic change. The shift was twofold. We changed the indicators and also the approach itself. Second, the first And the first is the elimination of CVR obsession. Previously, the ranking component was based on conversion rate, or CVR. That is, what percentage of users who came to the site bought the product actually was the top metrics we used. However, we found that if we pursue only CVR, we would inevitably come to the conclusion that the cheapest item should be on the top of the list. In ranking, we stopped chasing only CVR and changed to seek several different metrics. Second, we changed our approach. We stopped pursuing the strongest ranking logic we had been after. We changed our approach to focus on what is the optimum UI/UX using rankings, and decided to take on a variety of approaches for improvement. The change in policy led to drastic change in the form of rankings. Thinking the optimum UI/UX led to a variety of ideas, many that had never existed before. Many of the inventions were granted patents, and Yahoo Japan Shopping's ranking came to be protected by numerous patents.
So from here onward, I would like to introduce some of the patents that we have obtained. So in order to better the ranking, through the process, we have acquired multiple patents. And out of all the patents that we have acquired, we like to focus on 6 patents. First of all, we like to introduce fusion. So how the ranking, we will be able to lure customer into the ranking. So this is a patent that has to do with that very issue, fusion. So this is a claim that reflects the scope of the patent. So the claim is showing what is a patent, but reading the text does not ring a bell. So in terms of the word and representation of the words in patent, is too much of a difficulty. So I would like to digest into easier word. So this patent, when you conduct search at the auction EC site, it is a ranking and contents that you'll be able to provide in search result and also in ranking. So the reason why, how we have came about with this patent, let me give you the backdrop. So when you do your shopping on the EC site, the pages that you visit, what kind of pages do you visit? You search what you want, looking at the product, and then you put it in the shopping cart, and then you buy them. So I'm sure these are the typical behavior when you do a shopping. At Yahoo Shopping, this the flow is called site flow, so the main line. So in terms of the effect on the purchase behavior, there is a strong influence. The ranking contents, the main flow is quite apart. So although it is very effective, it is not to the fact that we have been able to utilize the content effectively. In order to solve this issue, the isolation of ranking page needs to be overcome. So through the discussion, the solution that we have acquired is the fusion of search page and ranking page. So the smooth and also a transitional movement of search and ranking, you have the freedom to find your own preference of the product. And this was a user experience that was never offered before. So by doing so, the ranking has resolved the isolation issue. So in the main flow, you'll be able to effectively utilize the ranking effectively. So Yahoo Shopping, in terms of leveraging the ranking capability, we wanted to offer a best experience ever in the search experience. So in terms of the best of ranking, best of search is the best of 2 world. We wanted to realize this world which would have the best of both. Now we'd like to introduce section. The various information are going to be sorted out effectively. We will be able to bring about value to the users. So from that idea, that leads to a pattern of this section. So this is the claim of this session. So I would like to give you the gist of what it means. So for the users, the keyword of the search, you are going to digest the meaning. And with the meaning and intent, you're going to create the various dimensions, and we combine them and then offer them as a service. So in terms of the ranking, the users utilize them. Not all the users are clear in terms of what they want. Let's say birthday present or Valentine. They are finding for a product based upon certain situation, or maybe a laundry washer. Maybe it's a category, and those are the image of the product that they have. So in order to sort out the information of what they want, some of the users do not know about the category. Some users do not sure about the brand. We decided to classify it and sort them out. So, but cases, these brand and category could be combined together in the offering. So by doing so, for the users, they will be able to find what they truly are looking for. So specifically in terms of search keyword, I would like to give you an example. For instance, the hometown tax payment. With the search word, we are going to offer a category sorted out ranking, and then the next ranking is based on price. So by doing so, the various product, you will be able to offer user an option, and the users out of the option that's been provided, they will be able to narrow down the image of what they truly are looking for. And let's look at the different keyword. Lenovo PC, the user who had this search word, the category name, brand name is included in the word. So this user already knows specifically what they are looking for. So therefore, these users, the search keyword, the inference of the category and brand, you'll be able to boil down what the users are looking for, and ranking is provided as such. On the other hand, was this the only level of information that could be provided to the user? No, the Lenovo has multiple type of users. Say in Lenovo PC, there are differences in CPU and operating system. There are differences in specifications. So to a certain extent, if the users are knowing what they want, the sort out of a specification in terms of ranking is going to be quite beneficial for Yahoo to offer a wide offering of choice. So the best proposal of what they really want is the basis of this understanding. So if you look at Yahoo shopping ranking, you know what you must buy, and you would be able to go through the experience of how we'll be able to offer that. The next is format for the users, the optimum ranking of how they will be able to see them. What would that be? And this is the way of the format, the best way to show it. The claim of this patent. Again, let me give you just the summary of this. The patent essential is that the inferred according to the search query, and also display a different form of ranking depending on the judged intent, and the details of the format are free. There is no limit. So this is the outline.
When you shop on an EC site, what information do you look at before making a decision? Two of us speakers have marked and visualized the information that is important to us. The two speakers agree that the price and points are very important when shopping, but they also seem to place different priorities. We seem to place different priorities. As you can see, there is a wide variety of information that buyers place importance on when buying a product, and the decisive information is different for each person. Let us now consider a user searching for a product using the search term baby shower gift. The search term baby shower gift suggests that the user does not have a specific product idea in mind. In this case, rather than being interested in the differences between individual products, users would like to know more information about what kind of products are suitable for a baby shower gift, more general information. This tendency was found in the quantitative research, and in order to meet the various needs of users, we focused on the format of the display. By interpreting the intent of the keywords used in the search, we can dynamically select between list and grid display formats to provide a ranking based on the optimum granularity of the information required by the users. Of the two display formats, I will first discuss the first list format. The list format can show a variety of information related to a product. This is the most attractive point of this. On the other hand, it is not suitable for showing many products at a time. This type of list format is suitable for users who have a clear idea of the product they want and are looking for detailed information on each product, and or users who want to compare products to find the best product that they can be satisfied with. Next, let's talk about the grid format. The grid format is the opposite of the list format and allows you to show a large number of products at a time. This format is most suited to the users who are not sure about what he or she wants to buy, but want to compare many products like window shopping, or for users who are looking for new encounters. One of the concepts of Yahoo Japan Shopping is that there are many products and everything is available. On the other hand, having a large number of products means that users may find themselves at a loss which one to choose. This can be a problem. One of the values of ranking is to provide such users with an easy selection path. The patented list and grid layouts play a role in enhancing the value of the ranking. Next, I'll introduce aggregation. How can we prevent repeated lineup of the same products or simply boring rankings? The patent on aggregation was conceived in order to produce a variety of rankings. This is the claim of this patent. The main points are explained here as well. When generating a ranking, mixing individual products that are a group of individual identical products and the products that are not a group of identical products, or the grouped products and also individual products. Posting rankings on the same axis without distinction between these group and individual products is the posting ranking. This is the gist of the statement. The background of this patent example with use will be explained. The Yahoo Japan service shopping is a mall-type service. At a mall-type service, the same product is often sold by multiple tenants. In ranking of the mall services, if a certain popular product is listed in a large number of different stores, the ranking may be filled with the same product. Nintendo Switch is a good example recently. When the ranking is filled with the same products, what is the buying experience for the user? The image below shows the ranking of Nintendo Switch software. This ranking is filled with the same game software titles. This kind of ranking can be valuable for users who want to buy this product because they can compare which store they should buy from by comparison. On the other hand, for users who are familiar with this product or already own it, this ranking is not very useful. This has been one of the long-standing problems of ranking in mall-type services. This patent was conceived in the process of solving this problem. The specific approach to solve this problem is to simply group together the same products on sale into a product category. This approach is not a simply reduce the products to a single product, but to score them as a single product category by taking into account of the ranking of all products on sale. In the final ranking, both products that are combined as products and those that are not as products are listed in the same ranking. We have achieved the provision of such ranking, and this image shows the same ranking of Nintendo Switch software as before. By applying this patent method, you can see that the ranking result is much richer with variety. Users are not looking for only a world where products are integrated or a world where products are not integrated. In fact, they need both worlds on a case-by-case basis. Yahoo Japan Shopping is looking for ways to utilize both worlds in our ranking. Next, I will introduce a proactive approach. What can we do to provide a pleasant experience through rankings? The patent on proactive was conceived to increase the number of fans of such rankings.
This is the claim, so I would like to give you the gist of what this patent is all about. When a user executes a search process based on a query, based on user information and query information entered by the user, generate and provide ranking appropriate to the user information. So this, of course, the caveat of this patent is the personalization of the ranking. So in terms of the ranking information and the user information, those would be combined to best offer a best ranking. So those people who love driving with their own personal car, when that person entered deodorant, it is a best car deodorant for car. So this is going to be reflected in the ranking. The other example is as such. So balsamic vinegar. If one person purchased balsamic vinegar, and in searching of the hometown tax payment, the ranking based upon the balsamic vinegar of how this will be effectively utilized with the return of the home tax type payment taxing will be reflected in the ranking scheme. So in terms of food that meet with the balsamic vinegar, those people who can come up with this idea is only a handful of people who love cuisines. So those ranking that could not be thought of could be provided by proactive approach to go a step ahead, in other words. So the true information needed by the user and the ranking that is truly being looking for, a head approach is very useful and very comfortable on the part of the users, and they will be happy to return to the ranking site. So we would like to increase the fans of the ranking so they will be happy and come back to the ranking. So I believe this patent has an infinite possibility. The last patent is boost. So it is a very new ranking that we are seeking for. So it's an idea that links to our future. So this is relevant to this patent code boost. This is the claim of this patent. So giving you the gist of this patent is for the ranking based on some trigger determine when to boost the ranking. So it's a very simple, but this is the major intent of this patent. Of course, as it says, it's boosting the ranking is the main objective of this patent. So as a trigger of a certain information, the scoring will be dynamically changed. And this is what we refer to as boost. So in terms of number of pieces sold and the number of orders being placed and top selling, the number of PV and some of the best sellers and buzz and viral SNS, those are the trigger, and we'll be able to boost them together. And we refer to this as trend boost. So trend boost, if you apply them into ranking, what does it look like? The normal ranking and boost do not coincide with each other so effectively. The reason is that the ranking changes too often, and every time you see them, the ranking is completely different. So meaning that the top ranking, are they truly trustworthy in terms of having them as a top ranking, is going to be questionable. But those fluctuating, of course, ranking, there is a way of how you can effectively utilize this boost ranking. Let's say to anticipate a trend, and in the higher ranking in terms of what could be on the trend or upcoming, or maybe some of the popular product in SNS, you'll be able to real-time reflect that on the ranking. So you'll be able to be on hands firsthand to reflect what's happening in the society in the ranking, which would lead to another set of value in the ranking scheme altogether. So as of now, the ranking today is only looking at hindsight, the past. So what was popular in the past, what sold the best in the past. So ranking is reflects the glory of the past. But on the other hand, the boost, if you utilize this pattern effectively, you'll be able to preemptively go after the future trend and future possibility. So therefore, the future ranking that never existed before, this ranking is going to offer something that of a value that never had been able to offer in the past scheme. So the ranking in terms of the deliverables, I would like to summarize about what it brought about. So original Yahoo Shopping, this is the ranking page, and the new patent included new scheme ranking page. This is a CVR comparison. So the new ranking, as you can see, as indices, the CVR alone is not the major indices, but UI UX also are embraced. So CVR, in the conventional way of ranking, you see a higher score. From a different perspective, this also have been confirmed. This is external inflow from the ranking page. So the search engine, how many have inflow has been confirmed. PC, smartphone, both we're seeing increase in inflow, especially smartphone. We are seeing a tangible result of the increase. So as you can see, some of the schemes that include patent also will be a driver in order to increase the attractiveness of Yahoo Shopping Japan. So these are the 6 patents we introduced related to patent. Yahoo's patent this is not alone for Yahoo Japan. In terms of patent that we were unable to introduce today, some of the knowledge that we can reflect on ranking is abundant. So in the future, we would like to offer the best ranking and the better ranking. We would like to do our utmost. So at the session, this will conclude the session. I hope you have enjoyed the session. In terms of being involved in the ranking contents, I have been able to obtain multiple patents. So it's my first experience to obtain a patent. So when you obtain a patent, what I feel through the experience is patent is more something approachable than you think. So in terms of the new aha moment or new maybe overcoming inconveniences, some of the new ideas, those are seeds to patent. So I hope that you would not hesitate with the word patent. I hope that your invention will be applied as a patent. So this concludes my part of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Inagaki-san and Konno-san. And from now, we'd like to have a plus talk session. The person who asks the questions will pursue some of the interests he had found, and we'll have more of a dialogue. And if you have any questions, please use the question button found at the bottom of the page screen. You can ask questions through that. Kose Murase would be asking questions. Murase-san, I'm a product manager and my name is Murase, and I'm working at LINE Pay, authentication, and all over product management. And user will be using LINE Pay and registration format for that, or provide the authentication service to outside external services as well. Thank you. And now, having listened to the session, what are some of the points you found interesting? And first of all, thank you very much for your presentation. The first about the general question about the organization. You talked about the Z Holdings as a whole is now encouraging you to get patents. And within Yahoo Japan, is there a program to promote that as well? Yes, within Yahoo Japan, we have incentive money. Or when you apply for it, and or IP section, they manage the patent and they support us in putting together patent applications. So they are formal programs, and so they strongly encourage us. So in this case, from certain time, what's the point you started becoming aware of the possible patent application? And this was an interesting project at the very beginning. And it was like we started with the idea to come up with a very innovative ranking. So we had, from very early on, whether that could turn into a patent. So a group who is dedicated to work with the patent in the IP area and the patent lawyers who are dedicated to patent issues, and we had interaction with them from the very early on of the project. Thank you. So it's not after you produce the service or product you started thinking of the patent. In fact, you worked always with the IP persons, and you need to register, apply for patent before you publish the idea. So that was important to start very early. Thank you. Let me also ask about the contents of the product.
Well, this time, 6 patent kindly you have introduced to us. So in terms of the considering them, you may think that this is promising, but you may wonder if this really bring about value to the users. So you don't know until the user actually get hold of the benefit of this patent. So do you do some testing or hypothesis before you launch them? Yes, 3 times. We had user interview, we had survey that we conducted before submitting the idea. We wanted to get feedback of some of the issues of the current ranking. So through interview and through survey, we identify the problem and the pain point. And then putting that into an idea, we come up with a prototype. And inside the company or different division, we have them experience this, whether or not this pain point has been resolved or not. So it's something that we generated. Is it valuable or not? We had done that verification. I see. So the user interview or creating a prototype and have a hands-on experience, because in Yahoo Japan, designer is going to take that lead. Well, I don't know about Yahoo Japan as a whole, but my Yahoo shopping department, the designer will take the lead in this area in creating the survey questionnaire and how do you call it? Having a group focus interview and inviting the group. That's being done, yes, by the designer-led approach.
Related to that, what you develop and implement. Inagaki-san, you said that you're a back-end engineer, and Konno-san from another role, you work together. 2 of you decided the specification, or there were other people involved in the developing the specification of the product? How did you go about in terms of ranking project? It was a very unique project, and it was more of a bottom-up ranking project. Direction, e-designers and data engineers, front engineers, back engineers. So the skills of different fields have been brought together, and we really discussed with each other. And then, as a result, try to get the approval from our supervisors. And so it was like really trying out different ideas. Let's see. So ideas you came up with. Some of them look more promising, so you pursued for patent, and also had a prototype and had other people use it, and so on. and or really more like send it out to the user community and have that tested there as well. I see.
Oh, I see. There's a question that's been posted because this is patent, but obtaining the patent. The other company's patent, are you aware of the patent being held by the other companies? So the IP people have followed that up? Yes. When we started, we had this idea and we have seek for their advice from the IP department, and the IP department would go through the survey of whether it's redundant with other companies, or the patent has already applied or not, or is it unique to us. We had come up with an idea, but it already many patent that been owned by the other companies already. I see. So regarding the product, especially in terms of the patent that has been introduced, there are you talked about the future ranking at the end. So I'm sorry, it's a big question, but two of you considering about the future ranking. So what is the potential that you can share with? Maybe you're thinking of a new patent that you can apply. As much as you can share with us, that would be great. But can you share some of the information?
About the future ranking, to what extent can we disclose? Well, let me think. Inagaki-san, do you want to take it? In my mind, as I mentioned briefly in the presentation when I talked about the future ranking, it's not that what's available. This will be a good product, successful product with high ranking. And it's almost like a recommendations. And instead of supporting of the past, it's like a supporting ourselves of the future. And that's the ranking nobody has done, no competitor has done. I think that will be very innovative. And so some of the product which I would very much like to try and use it, and that will be very ideal. I see. So working on ranking, it's almost like setting the product specification in play instead of the product planning people and so on. And that's the kind of ideas you have in mind already. Yes. And typically needs, wants, and sees. And so sees from technical approach, this may be possible. So the C's has to come from technology, and those of us who are not engineers find it difficult to come up with good C's. And I think that C's has to come from technology side, and needs, C's, wants, and we want to bring them together in our discussion. Thank you.
Well, coming back to the presentation, I would like to learn more specifically about the product. In terms of the result of the search and having ranking as a result of the search, I wanted to ask this question to you. The result of the search result, is separate team than ranking team, and then you applied ranking on top of that. Is that correct? Because those people are in charge of search, they may have a question, why are we going to multiply ranking on top of their work? Yes, it's a very severe competition that we have gone through, I must say and confess very frankly. But search, in terms of what they are trying to attain and what ranking are trying to attain, there are some overlap of where we are setting as a goal. But having ranking on top of search, the ranking user can be also brought about to the search as well. So it's not only a benefit on the ranking team, but because we have ranking effort, it will be beneficial for the search as well. So it's a win-win situation where we will be able to grow together. So that's how we are working together with the search team. So it's not a hostile, of course, competition. Okay, you're finding a synergy. Yes, synergy. So what would be a benefit for ranking? What would be the benefits for search? So we're finding the good, of course, agreement. So I would like to ask a question to you, Konno-san.
Who is a designer? And it's simple to say that they are combined. And how do you present that once you try to make a product that may not be that straightforward, and say this design may be better over the other approach? And Konno-san, what was your priority in deciding the design? And when we studied that, what we have in the service, like a segmented UI, and to fuse them. But within the page, there was an idea of having the ranking per se, and there may be other ways of guiding people without really overlaying the ranking. Now, and both the search and ranking has both the good benefits of their own, and we want to maximize both of them, infusing them together, and then that was very important for us. I see. So in developing product, not just the design, when you have a conflict of interest, it may be difficult to converge such interests. And when you have some other opposing, competing idea, how did we have any conflict? We did. We did have. And ranking tab, and we have tabs for ranking and such. And ranking team wanted to make it more noticeable, but Yahoo Japan Shopping as a whole, they need to balance. So how to put that in line and how to interface, and Konno-san was the forefront of fighting for that. I'm not sure whether I remember that or not, but okay. And some indicative point you made that you said that two things you learned: the CVR obsession as always the top priority, and but you didn't you discarded that, but you ended up improving CVR. And what kind of discussions, arguments were there, and to the extent that you can disclose? And for example, ranking, and it was like more by increasing fans, and how many times do they come back for ranking a single user instead of coming back to the ranking just once? It's coming back number of times. Can we have a metrics to gauge that? Is one. Or and how much of an inflow are we getting in addition? And inflow from outside and from internally are also important. So we had multiple matrices, and it's difficult to say exactly what percentage, but at least the rough idea of how much more users we are getting and how they are ending up doing shopping. Thank you. That I think I've exhausted my questions.
So what you have released, you did not end up with the result that you have anticipated originally. So in those cases, you talked about A/B tests that you're conducting. So looking at the result, you are considering whether this should be a full release in production or not. But is there any sort of a not successful story? You launched them with anticipation, but it did not work out as you planned. Anything? Well, for instance, by device, it's the format is different. iOS, app or smartphone, and PC, web, everything is the format is different, and design is different. And also in terms of the user generations are all different. Smartphone is younger in user segment, and a certain, let's say, smartphone, it worked well, but PC did not work well. iOS, it went well, but Android did not work well. So there are some differences. So the ranking tab, whether the differences between device and the user, of course, audience, how you absorb that difference, I think is an issue that we need to consider. So still you're working on that. Yes, still we are trying to find, well, partly it's working well, partly it's not. So therefore, how are we going to resolve this issue is what we are considering as of now. I see. Thank you.